welcome. I'm using Nefex Grateful today to get the energies up. Gemini Full Moon, I'm Gemini too.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself in check. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong.
Theme song for today. Log Lady for Gemini. Yeah, both of you, yes, both. Today is a Gemini energy. Okay, I have an assistant, Pluto. Dancing is really rising your energy. Like, if you wanna ever be psychic, dance first. And be sober, no alcohol. A good coffee. Okay, let's start. Let's put this Netflix away. Anyway, I'm glad this is a royalty-free song, so I assume I can use it like this. Let's see, there is already Varying Redbird back here. Even your Taurus, welcome. Maybe you have a Gemini placement. Anyway, this is Gemini Full Moon. So the Mercury is currently, until the Gemini Full Moon, in retrograde, meaning that kind of, maybe I can be this kind of helping message to the underworld, because that's what is happening currently with this ruling planet of Gemini. So just when the full moon hits the whatever atmosphere, then the Mercury go back to direct. There is this kind of wisdom that now is time to kind of dig deeper than usual and then get this kind of hidden gifts in your consciousness. Varying Redbird say, both my brothers are gems. I think I understand them. Yeah, I am Gemini. The shadow side of me, it is a weird thing. Like, whenever you talk about your own spirituality, I mean, who understand that? Anyway, try. But I got in this meeting of other psychics when I was studying this being psychic. I started, let's say it's almost 3 years ago. I keep saying 2 years ago, but it was like I started to study psychic with Richard Knight from UK. You're from UK, so maybe you know this Richard Knight. He's like known psychic in UK. Has done this for 40 years. Anyway, I signed to this masterclass, and there was this other psychic eventually, and I was like in this talk with them, and in this came through like stuff that like I was like, oh my god, because it was like people start to talk about this stuff, and then it's like, who is this for? And I didn't want to admit that it was for me first, but like nobody else admitted. And then I was like, okay, that baby, that everything, this story is applying to my family. So it was interesting way to get to know that actually my spirit guide is a baby that is now grown up, who is like an eternal child in the sense that is my brother who died before me. So all the other 3 psychics talking about this baby, it was very matching to my life, and it was weird to hear. It's kind of like if you are in the same room with the psychics, I understood myself too. It is not easy, so I'm not like actively going to places where other psychics are so much, because it can be a lot of revelations and a lot of stuff that can be a little bit uncomfortable to accept. But it makes sense, because I was born because one baby was dead 6-month-old in accident, because my mom had this thing that got a miscarriage, but was already 6 months in pregnancy, and he died. He was supposed to be born in 1977. And I was made then after this accident 2 months later that it was kind of like advisable that you cannot have a baby immediately. And I was made, and these psychics told me the story that was really like, oh my god, this is my spiritual guide here, busy now, and everybody can see it. It is this baby. So my twin brother is like, let's say here, like active, helping you too, if you take my psychic reading. But maybe this is too esoteric for some people. But it's nice to know, like the name for this brother would have been Fight in Finnish taisto. So it's nice that you have this kind of fighter spirit with me. And we are here. The gems. Okay. So this is now your shadow card, Moose, Gemini. Moose is your card. You have any other who is cross-watching, looking when it's not your sign yet. There is this kind of short YouTube short showing already preview for every shadow card and crystal. So Gemini, you got also solar plexus chakra. So interesting. It's really like now it's full moon in Gemini. Then opposite of the year is your sun sign. So now it's kind of like the moon. The opposite is activated now. Indeed, it's kind of the shadow energy, very much, because even the Mercury is in retrograde. It's really like highlighting this kind of Gemini go dark. And so very fitting to you to see this shadow sister channel currently. I'm Gemini going dark, even if I'm blonde. Anyway, here we have this hero and servant. Like hero would be the archetype that would be like the good one. Servant would be that you are like serving everybody else first, but then yourself. Anyway, this is now for you here as a message. We will look this in the end, how this whole reading comes together with this moose. Moose is interesting to get because I have been giving this kind of gifts for Christmas. It's kind of Advent gift. I make kind of compilation of my old videos that are often in this kind of membership or something like not visible for everybody. I select some videos, and there was the story of the Witch of Endor with kind of like a story of taming the moose. And here we have the moose again. So interesting, this moose keep coming up this period, whatever it means. Maybe it's really wanting to come from shadow or something. Maybe you can learn to do this moose sign. Then you have also the ship, what is also beautiful, like a relationship related symbol usually, like a relationship. Gemini is all about the connections to other people. And ship is interesting symbol. Also travel to faraway lands. When I saw this as a Gemini, I started to think about this series that I've been really fond of lately, this Rings of Power, and the Galadriel going to this kind of as a hero, as in this like a ship to be sailing into to become a hero, but then she's actually jumping off the ship. So there's this story. So maybe there is something that you thought you have done enough or something, like me too with this channel that doesn't go forward, but it go much more further, like almost like Columbus finding a new frontier. Like you have still some frontier to discover, and there is something, the hero's quest, hero's journey goes on, Gemini. Maybe mine too. Maybe people will find this channel finally. Who knows? This is here. And interesting, this moose is also kind of like a tsunami gonna hit this boat. I really liked when I see this. It's almost like overwhelming emotions, because this is like emotions are the subconscious. Like we have such a power, wisdom in our emotions. Emotions are communicating us a lot. We are aware of it. And this kind of moose is kind of coming as a tsunami over this boat. So what does it mean? We get into it, but let's see. Interesting. Maybe this kind of overwhelming emotions related to something that is coming towards you. Kind of like a heads up that this is gonna happen. But we will read as advice. Now, what is here saying? So Varingred Bird say, I only came back because of the blue eyes and pigtails. Yeah, everybody got something here. Not everybody indeed. Nowadays, this is not in fashion. Maybe this is like old style. I'm from 78. I'm already 46. So I have my own pigtail style. Anyway, let's see now. we get immediately to you this Anubis Oracle card. You know this is your advice, kind of light side in the end. I think I have to start with this kind of feeling cards also. So Gemini, this is now, okay, this is your card. I don't have any music here. Maybe I should play again this song. Because 6, you got your card. Sopek and Horus. You got your own card as advice. And this is Gemini Full Moon, so I feel like this is amazing. I'm able to really pick aligned cards, like reconciliation of opposites, forgiveness and understanding. Wow. So, Wearing Red Bear say, you are 1 year older than me. I'm 79. Yes, I'm older. But maybe sometimes I'm like, this could be a good advert point, like it can make you younger to really be creative and maybe even to use your psychic gifts. I think it is very healthy. That for sure I can say that if you want to have any like a beauty trick or anything, being psychic is really like a healthy for sure. And of course I don't want to like destroy myself. I want to be having clarity, so of course I'm also not kind of consuming any bad stuff, so I think it shows. Anyway, this I will play this song Furor because I wanted to celebrate. I should have this kind of, some readers have the bell when they are like the sign, when it gets this card that is aligned to the sign. It is really to remind this that this is your card. You get this as advice. Interesting. Let's play Furor this song. So let's celebrate a little more. Gemini.
Everybody listen up, cause I'll only say it once. I'm gonna show you how to pass. If you want it bad, I'm gonna show you every side. Yeah, how you can get it back. Yeah, cause I ain't never done.
Let's stop this. But anyway, this was point to celebrate that you got this as a card. But these I read in the end. So these are now, we are getting this far already with this reading. So next thing is a rune. Rune for Gemini and Gemini Collective. What is it? Prosperity. Okay. I think Wearing Red Bear has some kind of wisdom of runes. These are bind runes, so these are like made already to mean something. Yeah, it's a challenge itself to learn the original runes, but you can make your own bind runes. This is kind of thing. It's a possibility to kind of bind these runes. Just have used now this. Yeah. Yes, it's good to have a little music for this dark subject. We are going to the dark, to the underworld with Pluto. Pluto is always like the hardest, the underworld things. So next thing, what we do? Maybe we do immediately. I think I take the planet cards and house and sign. Let's see. Do we get again lucky that we got Gemini? What is it for you now, Gemini, to know? House is 6th house. This is not, I don't think 6th house, no, 6th house is not Gemini. It is it a Virgo? Spiritual service to others, mental, what is good for us, physical, your work in the 6th house. I think 6th house is Virgo. I think it has to be. Not so good at this, but your work, indeed. I'm now busy doing my shadow sister work here. It is important, but 6th house, of course, interesting that you get this number 6 repeated. That's interesting indeed. Whatever is the meaning. Moose had no number. Here we had a 3 in this boat. It's also like a half of a 6. Sometimes some numbers can form angel numbers. Now we have already like a 663. No, 366. Whatever this is. And I think I will take this lock lady moment. Okay, let's see. I have 2 possible boxes with feelings. I use only this small cards fitting in. So let's see. Enten, tenten, teilika, menten, hissun, kissun, vaapula, hissun, eilen, keelin, klat, viipula, vaapula, vettu. Okay, this one. So we are using this. is your emotions of your person. Current feelings of your person. Let's have them all in my hand. So, this is one. Current feelings of your person. And okay, one more. What we have here, pelko. Somebody is a bit afraid. Pelko means fear. Whatever is the fear here, the fear of something. We have here, I am love. Dynamic awareness. Love is being. Belief to God and Goddess and higher love. Awareness is love in action. Mystic feeling, spirituality, oneness, life is love, and love is life. Compassion. Anyway, there is really this kind of like I am love consciousness. Indeed, everything starts with being. So the person is really like being loving. Even there is some kind of fears here. Then we have baby. Yeah, baby, I feel you. It's a little bit fruits here. It's nice to see this baby. Baby. Gemini baby. We have here, beautiful song from Scorpions. Send me an angel. Here I am in the land of morning star. Person is wishing that you would, or angel would be sent to them because they are standing in the land of the morning star. And then we have level of consciousness. There is this very conscious person again. I think this awareness is very high here. Level of clarity, understanding consciously, intensity in love. The source is simple and single, but its gifts are infinite. You are the source. So interesting, they see you as a source. Interesting. I'm kind of like at this moment, the source also here, but anyways, Gemini, your person, see this kind of high level of consciousness with you, that obviously Geminis are very mental people. It's there. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We are gonna go, the light message before I forget it. It's always good to keep things in balance. If there is like dark, there has to be light. Otherwise, it's almost like I understood in my relations that went wrong. Let's not go too much into it, but like, let's say that this long relationship with the father of my child, that sometimes if you are so much light, the other person cannot be anything else than dark. Like you don't leave any space for them to be anything else than the dark. So, I mean, it's almost like, I'm so empathic that I want to understand this, but the thing is that it felt really, in my case, like there was completely like opposites, like dark and light, and that's not healthy, of course. You have to embody in yourself, of course, both sides, then it's not kind of like you don't have to project it outside. So I was like searching for the dark because I was denying it in myself, or something like this can happen. So always accept the darkness too. So light message, I'm energy in motion. So I think now we're gonna use the Divine Comedy deck. This comes because of you got this hero cards, and I think the shadow reading I start immediately. It doesn't have to be so long reading. Would wish to do as many as reading possible because today is of course 12.12 portal. Very beautiful. So let's add still a bigger stone. This is my philosopher's stone. Oh, it doesn't show the reflection now. Maybe you see a little bit. Okay. So this will be my shadow too. Oh my god. Ooh. And what is the light side of this shadow? Gemini shadow, love, shadow love. Okay, I'm not surprised. I know this is my shadow, 5 of Cups. So we're talking about mentioning the separation with my ex, that is the father of my child. It has been very sad to realize like this was not a success story. But I found even this shadow sister thing thanks to it. So sadness is a very deep emotion, it's a very good thing. So I actually have drawn even. I'm gonna show my version of it. This is one card that I'm very proud of because this is really like my channel, Shadow Sister Healing card, this 5 of Cups. So the magic is in the mess. Brené Brown says that this is like you can choose to. There is always this wisdom, like the person is focused on this kind of fallen cups, but what about the remaining light and love here in these colors? And this is kind of shadow work is needed here clearly. When you are in this kind of shadows, you need to see yourself in the mirror and recognizing the emotions. Like, it could be fun exercise actually to do in real, like look yourself in the mirror and draw to that mirror like emotions. This is just my imagination to do it like this, but like higher self is able to be activated, and higher self is always like in the light and in the higher energy. The subconscious mind operates in this kind of darkness. So often we can be really lost if we are guided by only about this darkness. We need this higher self, this kind of like a higher vision. I have a lesson content. This is part of the last crown chakra lesson that is in my membership, where I talk about all this kind of like a thing. How can you be like understanding this kind of triangle of how the higher conscious works? Anyway, this is my shadow too. This is Gemini shadow, to be sad. And of course, the opposite of this is joy. And what I learned also, the joy is answer to all the stupid questions, of course, but joy is the healing source here. So that is how you heal this sadness. Never like I think that it's only one emotion. There are so many emotions, and joy happens to be the opposite. So you heal with the joy. That's now in the shadow of Gemini. It's interesting. It's my shadow too. It's very clearly. Yeah, this hopefully one day I get published my own deck, but these are now only hand drawn directly to the cards. So I want to show you this because after the Taurus reading, there's one Taurus here, I did draw my new card. In the Taurus reading, the outcome of the shadow came for a sword, and mine happened to be Kurt Cobain. I have one reading now for the gift of the December. Who killed Kurt Cobain? I was using my psychic skills, very eager to solve crimes last spring. I was like really, let's say, activist mode to do that reading. I was a little bit agitated and emotional about that, but I think I got some interesting points there, because now when I look at the documentary or like revelations what's been coming through, there was even the death of that Kirsten, and there was like even the dark woman there in those cards if you look clearly. So anyway, this is the fourth sword I just drew between these readings. So I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. So yeah. Yeah, I am kind of little artist, not so known, but upcoming, 46 years old. Not lost case yet, but here we have Kurt Cobain. Channeling Kurt in the Gemini reading. I think I really love this. Like Kurt Cobain is such a high, like a minded poet. Like poet, being a poet can be totally like using your third eye. I mean, maybe he used substances to get those kind of visions. And I'm telling you can do everything without any drugs. I'm totally against the drugs. So, but he has in his lyrics so genius stuff. So he's clearly having this, that he was able to open his third eye. clearly. But okay, it's not so balanced maybe. Could be more balanced. Anyway, let's go forward. So this is your shadow, Gemini, shadow love. And there is a deep caring in this Five of Cups. If somebody is sad, it's because you care so much. So try to be grateful for that is actually a deep feeling. It reveals you a lot, like about that love, kind of other side of that love, but still a lot. Maybe it is even fueling your creativity, like mine. When I draw this, I was kind of even getting a little bit in tears for real life, because when I got this idea, it is beautiful to connect certain things creatively. It's a beautiful energy. This is very much the idea behind the shadow sister. There is this higher self able to touch the shadow, and there is this higher self is, of course, this kind of able to find a golden shadow. There is two sisters, golden shadow sister and the dark shadow sister. So it's not just the dark sister, also the gold can be there. But sometimes the gold comes with the tears. The gold is coming with the heart shadow work. So yeah, it's not easy. Nothing is easy with this kind of wounded healer world. But really, Sagittarius connected really clearly to this Chiron. So anybody here would be Sagittarius looking. That is really this wounded healer possibility. Having this loss, you become a wounded healer. That could be indeed a gift here. Okay, positive side of the shadow. We are getting very, very dark here. Death. So if somebody lost something, and then the positive side is the death, that is, of course, transformation. But this is, I would say in my own case, because I was really thinking myself this moment, is this kind of story of like, what I even told vulnerably in this reading, that my brother died before me, and thanks to this, I got life. So sometimes a loss of something is a birth of another thing. And I would not exist if this accident didn't happen. So the death was lucky for me, but it left a mark, of course, in my soul even. So very Redbird said, not all tears are an evil. You've seen Lord of the Rings. Yes. What about the Lord of the Rings? Like, what about the tears in the Lord of the Rings? I didn't capture like what point in it. Or the sentence, where was it? Because there is such a wisdom in the Lord of the Rings. Even this season now, this Rings of Power, I really love to. I like this Galadriel character so much. It's like really this kind of hero fighter, warrior type of woman. Really like Gandalf. Yeah, not all tears are evil. You've seen, yeah, like this. Like we are like these bad feelings, because they are bad, because they make us feel bad. We might like demonize these feelings, like, oh my god, like me too, like why I cannot, like after this separation happened and the COVID started, it was like if something goes wrong, then it's almost like everything goes wrong. So after my separation, the COVID started, so it was like I couldn't be social as I'm usually. So this is, of course, I knew how important social contacts are to healing, and I couldn't do that, and I was just trapped home with my child and with this kind of shameful thing about my separation. And then crying, I knew that's not who I am, like usually. I'm like a happy person usually. It was very hard to accept those tears, like why these tears never stop, why I had to cry so much, and my child even saw it, didn't like that because I think Geminis, we are like people who doesn't want to always be so like emotional, like show it at least to others. We are rational people kind of. But then I couldn't help it. I was just crying. So it's like accepting that part. I think it took time to accept that I was so sad. It took time to, but it is like it's such a normal thing, and can teach you so much, and you give so much. And I even invented my shadow sister healing, and here is this helpful message, like the magic is in the mess. Like I accept this mess now, that my life has been a mess, and accept it nowadays, and it's not like out of the mess comes kind of like a new life, like new things. You need to be a bit messy to create something new. I'm a man and I cried watching the never-ending story. Yes, that's also, oh my god. Yeah, no shame. Like, did you cry on that point when the what is the name of the hero there? The horse gets stuck in the swamp and sinks into the swamp, and it's so sad. I cried too. Yeah, the horse. Yes. So the white horse is like sinking there. Like, I completely identified with that horse when I had my sadness. Like, I was just sinking into that swamp. Exactly, this is the feeling when you are completely lost with your sadness. And it is like, you feel like you are never getting back as you were before. But of course, the wisdom here is like, those kind of changes in our life, they really change us. We are not anymore the same person. So we are changed forever. We can never be the same. We are like if somebody is dead, there is almost like the death gives us the ultimate truth. That could be also, Gemini, your like the shadow love like because it's positive side of shadow, like death gives you really the ultimate truth. Like, I brought even the Kurt Cobain on the table. Like there is really so much truth about somebody dying, like how people show who they are aftermath, or in this case, they showed who they truly are. Even people around him, why they couldn't like help him more, or like what had to happen that this marriage was so toxic, why he couldn't get out of it. So anyway, I think people are still grieving, still this is very hard. Like, I was 16 when Kurt Cobain died. I don't think I'm still over that. I'm doing still reading like Who Killed Kurt, because we want to have peace with this stuff. If this is now possible in this reading, Kurt, come here today. We miss you. We miss you. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, maybe we get, who knows what kind of messages we still get. Is the moose connected to Cobain somehow? He at least had this kind of hunter hat. Anyway, let's see. Outcome of this shadow, Gemini. Okay. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. This emotional, this is advanced a lot. This is already like a 4 more cups than this 5. So this is like indeed arriving to the 10 of Cups. One has to kind of be emotionally mature. But here it's interesting. There's this person like being fed with the golden spoon. It's totally like some dinner party. I'm often using this dinner party as a kind of like example, how not all the feelings are accepted in the dinner party. And now I start thinking about this, like how often the sadness is not welcome to the dinner party, like or anger or all these bad emotions, but still they should. It's like a human nature. All should be like understood and accepted. But here you have this kind of outcome of this shadow. Even there's a death in the between, that you are really like matured with your emotions. Possibly then even with the love life, able to handle all kind of situations. Because every relationship also, it's not just sunshine and roses. There's also sadness, all these negative emotions too. So you have this kind of blessing here. Interesting, the wish fulfillment is here as a result of this loss. Whatever it means to you. These are your shadow love cards. So let's see. This is the order. I think it shows to your screen differently than to me. So this is the first. It goes like this. Shadow love, that you have to handle this sorrow. Then the blessing is this kind of transformation with the dead. And then this wish fulfillment. It's like you can be abundant. Let's say abundant with your feelings. That you don't like neglect any parts of yourself. So then you're kind of abundant person. So yes, interesting reading. Now we go to this advice. We have here the moose. So we go immediately to this kind of Pluto message. How this binds together this reading. Let's see. Let's put my lock lady glasses on. Oh my god. It's really like a darkness comes fast in the winter. I don't know if hopefully I can still do the Cancer of this. So Gemini, this is moose. A formidable obstacle or opponent giving something too much power. The majestic moose is an intimidatingly large beast. Yeah, remind you, if you are already waiting anxiously to see your Cancer reading, Cancer got the same shadow card. So you could already get this message now. And let's see, this moose. Yeah, the majestic moose is an intimidating large beast. Until you experience the presence of one in real life, it's difficult to appreciate the true impact of their stature. And once you've seen a moose in real life, the mammoth size is truly unforgettable. If the moose card appears in your reading, something in your life feels just as large and intimidating as this creature. Whatever this obstacle is, a person, a situation, a problem that needs to be solved, it seems insurmountable and has left you feeling paralyzed and small in comparison. As formidable as the situation may feel, be careful not to give anything too much power or importance. Remember that perception is everything and the dread is often worse than the deed. Interesting, in your person's feelings, there was this one Finnish word, was it here? Pelko, fear. Maybe there is some fear there. So paralyzed and small in comparison. And then be careful not to give anything too much power or importance. Remember that perception is everything and the threat is often worse than the deed. It's quite possible that, in fact, the anxiety this situation has caused you has enabled this thing to cast a larger shadow than it deserves. The longer you avoid it, the bigger it will become. Take action. And further reflection, read the story David and Goliath and reflect on how David defeats the armored giant with a single stone. Then reflect on how you might tackle your own obstacles in a simple yet surprising way. Interestingly, I'm kind of tackling here things with these crystal stones. But yeah, and I know one David who is also Gemini. Interesting that the name was mentioned even here. Wearing red bird say the glasses suit you. Yeah, these are actually easy peasy, cheap reading glasses. These are like from Paris, but they sell in Brussels, of course, in Belgium. But these are so handy, cost so few and are so stylish. Anyway, I have other glasses too because I do have like a contact lens. So then this looks actually good. They don't make your eyes small. Now we got still this 6, your own card, Sopek and Horus. Advice for Gemini Collective. This is like a lock lady outfit to have these glasses. This is really like a lock lady. Good time of the year even to be lock lady. This is really like winter season to be in your house. Here, Gemini advice. Forgiveness and understanding. Sopek and Horus represent two powerful opposing psychic forces found in all human beings, the old and new parts of each of us. They appear together as adversarial allies to help us reconcile opposing forces and create harmonious, balanced union within. The crocodile god Sobek represents strength and fortitude, fertility and rebirth. From Sobek, we inherited the reptilian brain that contains the ancient evolutionary patterns. It rules the autonomic functions that have kept us protected, alive, and prepared to grow forward. Horus is the son of Isis and Osiris. In this oracle, he comes into maturity and prepares to step into his full power as the enlightened ruler. All pharaohs are called Horus. As a hawk-headed solar deity, he is associated with higher mental and spiritual functions. If you have drawn this card, it's time to take a deeper look at the energetic desire to evolve while stepping into a new way of being. You may experience a sense of conflict from the old self. In truth, it is willing but needs to know that what is of value will not be lost and that mistakes will not be repeated. This is an opportunity to take stock of the newer self that wants to evolve and step forward, and of the old self that wants to make sure you have a solid foundation to stand on. Drawing this card indicates that resolution is afoot. If there is a conflict in your life or something in the way of your forward or upward motion, meditating with these two seemingly opposing forces can bring you to a deeper understanding of a relationship or situation. It can also open the way for forgiveness. If you bump into that part of yourself that is close to forgiveness, stay open. It is one of the most potent keys for resolution. This is, of course, like advice in this deck that you would always like a journey into this image and journal. This is even your Gemini card, so it's interesting. This is here. So it's very potent in this whole reading because this is my shadow sister card even. It's part of your shadow love to have this reconciliation opposites, joy and sadness. It's really here in many, many ways. This is my Lock Lady card still I draw today after Aries reading. So my Lock has something to tell you. Anyway, I think this was your reading. Is there any Gemini online? Maybe I don't see anybody here. And I will try to still start the Cancer reading. I think I have to set a lamp just in case it gets dark. But I could just make it maybe today still. So thank you for seeing. If you didn't subscribe, do that to help my channel to grow. This is a different kind of reading and it is extensive reading, so it will be available some days and then it go to the membership. So this kind of special extensive readings happens usually full moon, and then I have this new moon reading is predictive all star sign reading that are always available. So there is also your star sign reading already, predictions for whole December. Gemini, if you want to see, this is just a little bit more deeper, and we went now to this Pluto world today. Hope you like it. Thank you for watching this and bye. And thank you for commenting here. Bye.